With the release of Assassin's Creed Shadow getting yet another delay from February 14th to March 20th, it really got me thinking about the franchise as a whole. And I believe the easiest way to summarize it is that Assassin's Creed is the franchise that could have, but didn't. And in this video, I want to talk about how, despite so many releases in the mainline series, that none of the modern games are anything like the original. And I think that's to the negative of it. Now, none of the newer games are really hated. No one's making hit pieces on them or saying they're the worst games ever, but they're far from what the highlights of the original series and franchise set out to be. And in this video, I'm going to talk about that. But before, I want to pose a question to you. Yes, you, the viewer, listening or watching this video. If you played the original Assassin's Creeds all the way back from the original Ezio trilogy up until the most recent Assassin's Creed Mirage, I want you to tell me what your favorite Assassin's Creed is in the comments down below. Because I'm willing to bet that if you played the original, that none of the modern ones or any released in the last 5, 6 years are your favorite. Whenever I pose that question to people, they give me usually one of two games. It's either Assassin's Creed 2 or it's Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, although Black Flag was a bit of a newer type of Assassin's Creed, I really think that was the only one in the shift from a traditional linear story to an open world RPG that was successful. I think they struck lightning in a bottle and they've been chasing that lightning for years where they should have just gone back to the original format. But what they never say is that their favorite Assassin's Creed is not Valhalla, it's not Odyssey, it's not Unity, it's not Mirage, which are the most recent games in the franchise. And I have been a fan of Assassin's Creed. I remember playing it back when the original one was released. I remember being too young to purchase it myself back when you had to go to the store to buy the games. So I had to beg my parents to buy it for me, and they did. And I fell in love with the original series. I still remember the opening scene from Assassin's Creed 1. I still remember the first cutscene in Assassin's Creed 2. I have so many memories. And although I've played much more recent Assassin's Creeds like Valhalla and Odyssey and Unity, there was never one moment where it related to the same feeling that the original ones did. I remember those tense moments, those stealth, the perfectly timed assassinations, and missions that felt like a puzzle you had to solve. It was very reminiscent of Hitman's gameplay, where now they've shifted into a gameplay more fit to be compared to Far Cry or Fallout. And although those games are great, those don't sit well for what Assassin's Creed used to be. Instead of those carefully crafted missions, we now get massive open world RPG mechanics. And don't get me wrong, those games have their fans, but for someone like me who's played every mainline game with at least 10 hours except for Mirage, which I've heard was a step in the right direction, it's been more of the same grind. And with Assassin's Creed Shadow, Ubisoft is introducing dual protagonists. And while that sounds cool on paper, it yet again shows me that Ubisoft is not attempting to bring back the gameplay that made the series so great in the first place. The open world RPG structure is still here. Leveling systems, gear upgrades, and endless map markers. It's like the franchise forgot that being an assassin isn't about grind and stats, it's about planning and executing the perfect hit. What made the original Assassin's Creed stand out to me was its simplicity. Blend in, track your targets, strike when the moment is right. In Shadows, it looks like we got some of that with one of the protagonists being very stealthy and sneaky. However, the other one, the samurai, it's really just brute force combat is all we've seen. Reminds me of God of War combat or Ghost of Tsushima. And that's not a terrible thing to be compared to. However, when what you previously had was stealth and sneaking around and trying to hide in the shadows and find the right time to attack your target and get out, very reminiscent of the Hitman series, I feel like this is a step in the wrong direction. And yeah, samurai video games are cool. I mean, there's a reason there's a dozen of them made every single year, but does it really fit the Assassin's Creed formula, or is it just Ubisoft trying to follow trends? I'll admit it, the Futile Japan setting looks pretty cool. The world feels authentic and alive, but I'm worried that it'll end up feeling like every other Ubisoft open world. Big, beautiful, and ultimately empty. So, can Assassin's Creed Shadow be that great? Maybe. If Ubisoft finally learns that bigger isn't always better. But for fans like me who fell in love with the stealth, the strategy, and the historical intrigue, this might just be another RPG with hidden blades. But only time will give us the answers to these questions that so many of us have. We're just over a month away from the game being released, and I am intrigued to see how the game does. There have been some final test plays of the game, and everybody seems to be enjoying it, but I don't think it will bring back the original feeling that the classics have. But if you disagree with anything in this video, let me know in the comments down below. If you agree with this video, let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to tell me which one of the Assassin's Creed games is your favorite. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.